Check this out, ladies and gentlemen. George Soros caught red-handed. And Ken Paxton launches investigation into Beto O'Rourke's funding of runaway Democrats.
So Paxton says Democrats' failure to return constitutes what he calls a, quote, dereliction of their duty as elected officials. What is your response to that?
I think what they're doing is the highest form of public service. They're trying to stop the consolidation of authoritarian power in America as Trump and Greg Abbott and Ken Paxton and Republicans in Texas, thick as thieves, try to steal these 5 seats in Texas, because without them, Trump's going to lose a majority in the House of Representatives. And without that majority, there's a check on his lawlessness, accountability for his crimes and corruption, and the possibility of free and fair elections going forward. Those 56 Texas Democrats are all that stand between that future and where we are right now. And so we've got to have their backs. And I'm so grateful that tens of thousands of Americans have texted FIGHT to 20377 to make sure they have the resources for their lodging, their food, their flights, and to the point that you made earlier, the defense that they're going to need as both Greg Abbott, the governor, and Ken Paxton, the AG, take them to the courts.
Beto O'Rourke says that Texas Democrat politicians legally fleeing Texas is the highest form of public service. And this post here on X says, or asks, why Democrats have brought out this weirdo to stump for them is a wonder. And no one believes him. That's why he keeps losing his elections. And speaking of elections, let's talk election integrity. And can you imagine living in a state where 40% of the population is not represented in the House of Representatives? That's 2 out of every 5 people just completely ignored in this democratic process. Well, for some, there's no need to imagine, because this is a reality. In 9 Democrat-controlled states, as many as 10 million haven't had a representative in Congress for decades. And it says here, when Democrats are in charge of drawing congressional maps, they are rarely concerned about ensuring that Republicans living in their states are represented in D.C. For example, Connecticut, Delaware, Hawaii, Maine, Massachusetts, New Hampshire, New Mexico, Rhode Island, and Vermont don't have a single Republican congressional district and haven't for decades. Yeah, they want to make this a norm and add Texas to that list. Comment below with your thoughts on it all.
Crazy districts in Illinois. Take a look at this. Look at 17 here. It does that. Then it comes up here and it sneaks around there and goes all the way up here and then goes right over there like that. And look at this one, kind of goes whoop up there. It's like the stinger on a scorpion down here. Is this common for all states to do?
Well, we handed it over to a kindergarten class and let them decide.
Okay, that's the nonpartisan group that does this
Absolutely.
For you guys?
That's our independent commission, you know. That is, yeah. I mean, look.
So because all states, to a certain extent, do this, why is what Texas doing particularly egregious in this case?
Well, here, every 10 years we do a census in this country, and right after the census, we redraw districts in every state. But what the Republicans are trying to do, and the Texas Republicans, frankly, at the behest of Donald Trump, are doing it mid-decade. That is extraordinarily rare.
That's an important point, because I think he literally called them or wrote them and said, hey, I need 5 seats.
In an odd and strange turn of events, Stephen Colbert just called out Illinois and Democrats for their gerrymandering, and Governor J.B. Pritzker couldn't even defend it. In fact, he insulted his own map by saying the quiet part out loud, and I quote, "We handed it to a kindergarten class and let them decide." Jeez. They don't even try to hide it anymore. Texas must continue, and other red states must follow suit. These corrupt Dems don't even oppose gerrymandering, and they like it when they do it. Oh, and when you call them out on it, hold their feet to the fire and demand them come to the floor, they do this. They call in a bomb threat.
When you have people like in Texas, our Attorney General Ken Paxton telling his zealot supporters to hunt us down, I don't know what he expects to happen. This is ridiculous behavior from them. They are using threats in what should be peaceful political disagreement, political fight. But now they're making it physical and threatening, and it's incredibly unacceptable that they would do something like this. And I just think as long as you see Ken Paxton and Greg Abbott use such threatening language, that it's not surprising something like this would happen. But luckily, we're all here, we're all safe, and we are undeterred. We are committed to continuing this fight for our democracy.
Retaliation and threats. Incredibly unacceptable. We must continue this fight, and never turn our backs on one another. Unlike the Democrats. And I just read this post that says, breaking. According to Leader Report, the Biden camp is ready to drop dirt on Kamala Harris if she comes after him in new book.
Just over a year ago, I launched my campaign for President of the United States. 107 days, traveling the country, fighting for our future. The shortest presidential campaign in modern history. It was intense, high stakes, and deeply personal for me and for so many of you. Since leaving office, I've spent a lot of time reflecting on those days, talking with my team, my family, my friends, and pulling my thoughts together. In essence, writing a journal that is this book, 107 Days. With candor and reflection, I've written a behind-the-scenes account of that journey. I believe there's value in sharing what I saw, what I learned, and what I know it will take to move forward. In writing this book, one truth kept coming back to me. Sometimes the fight takes a while, but I remain full of hope, and I remain clear-eyed. I will never stop fighting to make our country reflect the very best of its ideals, always on behalf of the people. So thank you for being in this fight with me. I am forever grateful. And I cannot wait for you to read this, and I'll see you out there. Take care.
This got so beaten up on the internet, Link, that I almost felt bad for her. I thought, man, this is cringe, and if she doesn't have better advisors and people who are helping her, I don't know what to tell her.
Well, you know, we've talked for years about Joe Biden being in cognitive decline, being non-compos mentis. I think Kamala Harris is really bad herself. She's struggling to form coherent sentences. I don't know if she's blotto. I don't know if someone left a bottle of Cabernet in her dressing room last night on Colbert. The woman is really struggling and spiraling. The book should not be called 107 Days. It should be called 107 Shots of Vodka, because that seems to be what she's taking every day.
Oh, Emily.
California just dodged a bullet. I mean, this was the shortest campaign in history, yet there was enough cringy moments, gaffes, and accent switches to fill an entire book that I can't wait to read.
Oh, yeah, and everybody's going to read that. Last but not least, we have the TikTok gentle parenting montage.
Squandered $1.5 billion in 107 days on the sorriest campaign in recent memory, and now wants to sell you a book. The grift never ends with Team Blue genocide.
Your fantasy football league, you got an interesting punishment for losing. Watch this.
If you finish in last place in your fantasy football league this year, you will be locked in a room with no phone until you finish reading every single page of Kamala Harris's new book. And when you finish all 500 pages, you will be required to give the entire league a presentation. And if that presentation does not pass ChatGPT standards, you will then be required to listen to the audiobook for 24 hours straight.
You're the guy who, you'd make that happen, wouldn't you? You'd actually do that. But that, that's cruel and unusual punishment. You know that.
Some people say there's no punishment worse than death. I think this one is. Yeah, this is a bad punishment.
Where did you come up with it from? You hate the book?
It wasn't my idea. I can't steal that idea. That was. We have a bunch of weird brains in our offices. They came up with it.
Okay, and you're going to endorse it. All right.
Sometimes you just have to go with the flow. These things somehow just create themselves. much like the massive amount of interest now shifting over to the WNBA. I mean, who came up with this idea? I don't know. It just kind of happened, and now we just have to go with it. And according to Polymarket Sports, a strict no-bag policy has been implemented for tonight's WNBA game in an attempt to crack down on dildo throwers. And if you want to get in on the action, you can now see who's wagering on not only which days dildos will hit the WNBA court, but also what color they might be. Green seems to be the overwhelmingly popular choice, and it appears to be a fan favorite. However, Sophie Cunningham is not amused. But speaking of dicks, this guy says his wife has a penis and he sucks her off every day, but he claims he's still straight. Right. And Penske Truck Rental issues a statement. It says, dated August 6, 2025, Penske Truck Rental is aware of recent reports and videos regarding a Department of Homeland Security DHS operation in Los Angeles. Penske strictly prohibits the transportation of people in the cargo area of its vehicles under any circumstances, and the company was not made aware that its trucks would be used in today's operation and did not authorize this. Penske will reach out to DHS and reinforce its policy to avoid improper use of its vehicles in the future. Okay, so this happened today. DHS agents rolled into MacArthur Park in Penske trucks for an immigration operation near a Home Depot overrun with migrants. Brave men and women doing the work we all voted for, delivering on a mandate and making good on campaign promises. Despite the almost infinite challenges and opposition they face, like this one here. And the Democrat Party member and Arizona State Senator Annalise Ortiz is actively impeding and doxing ICE by posting their live locations on Instagram. Posting to X saying, yep, when ICE is around, I will alert my community to stay out of the area, and I'm not scared of you nor Trump's masked goons. But never fear, her day will come, much like how immigration judges in Chicago are getting whacked with the first judge who just got her termination email while she was sitting on the bench.
We hired without warning two now former female federal immigration judges say their terminations are part of what they see as an obvious pattern.
We have seen that women and minorities have been disproportionately affected. This clearly raises serious concerns about transparency, fairness, and due process in our courts. I call for full transparency regarding our terminations.
Judge Carla Espinosa's termination email came as she sat on the bench in Chicago's immigration court July 11th. In the span of a few days, two more female colleagues got the same email from the Executive Office of Immigration Review, the division of the Department of Justice that oversees immigration courts.
I worry the EOIR has lost its mission.
The I-Team broke the story of Assistant Chief Judge Jennifer Payton's firing last month.
I'm really mostly worried about our country.
After years leading Chicago's immigration court, Judge Payton says the overburdened system she helped oversee is buckling.
Since January 2025, I've watched my professional colleagues and friends, over 100 of them, be either fired, resign, or transferred to other government jobs. Even more judges have simply quit. That leaves perhaps 600 immigration judges now, down from a high of a little over 700.
Judge Payton's ouster came weeks after a meeting with Illinois Senator Dick Durbin at the...
The chief judge says since Trump took office, judges are being shown the door, with the sentiment on X being somewhere along the lines of America is living in the best of times. Plus,
is offering now these $50,000 signing bonuses, student loan forgiveness for any new ICE agents. This is a massive campaign to recruit more than 10,000 new agents this year. 10,000, that number if achieved would make ICE the single largest law enforcement agency in the nation. Trisha, tell us how that's going and what kind of response are you getting for this recruitment effort?
We are getting an overwhelming response. Already have 1,000 final offers out as of now, Cheryl, but we know we're going to turbocharge that in the coming weeks and get even more ICE enforcement officers on the ground. There's really strength in numbers, and these men and women are doing the Lord's work. They are getting the worst of the worst off of America's streets, and America can be so proud of them. If you are interested in joining ICE and being on the front lines, go to join.ice.gov.
And Dean Cain says he joined ICE to help save America in support of Trump's immigration crackdown. ICE gets super boost after Superman star Dean Cain revealed that he has joined Immigration and Customs Enforcement just days after DHS Secretary Kristi Noem issued a call for citizens to get involved. And I gotta be honest with y'all, I just can't bring myself to watch the new Superman movie. It just looks like more woke garbage than I can stomach on top of the insanely high ticket and popcorn prices. But let me know what you guys think about all this. And the internet never forgets. Like how when Penske let an illegal use their truck for human smuggling, meanwhile, the company never made a peep. There was no statement made, but now when DHS uses their trucks for ICE operations, they're quick to let their liberalism show. Okay, got it. Take a note. And all because Trump won. And speaking of winning, check out this list here. Because Trump won, Colbert is fired, Howard Stern is fired, Joy Reid is fired, Jim Acosta's gone, Neil Cavuto is gone, Lester Holt is gone, Chuck Todd is gone, Chris Wallace is gone, PBS is defunded, NPR is defunded, USAID is gone, white people are back in commercials, morbidly obese black women are appearing less frequently in commercials, Disney removed a teenage trans girl from their show, win or lose, Black Captain America tanked, ABC had to give Trump $17 million for lying about him, AP had to cut back 8% of its workforce, Univision had to lay off several hundred workers, CNN ratings are in a week-to-week death spiral. So are MSNBC's. Wolf Blitzer and Jake Tapper were denied raises. Rachel Maddow had to take a pay cut. Justin Trudeau resigned, and the Gulf of Mexico is now the Gulf of America. With the last little bit here asking, what's your favorite Trump destroyed thing on this list? Let everybody know down in the comments. And I'll see you guys on the next one.